think is the first item they're going to find in Link's house?
I'm going to say a rupee.
Red mail is for cowards. You know what? I'll take the coward tag. I like my red mail. Okay, up first. Looks like hookshot. Not a bad item to start with.
Was it a hookshot or a shovel?
I think it was a hookshot. Restream quality for us isn't exactly the best, so it can be hard to tell. That is definitely a hookshot.
Definitely hookshot. Yep, I see
yes. I'm sure the runners will be happy to have that. It does help with both stunning enemies to see what prize pack you get off of those, as well as killing some of the less powerful enemies. Although they won't really need that because they do have the sword at Uncle.
It's helpful getting around too because you can hookshot to trees and bushes and stuff.
Looks like we're getting everybody synced up here. So it's going to look like streams are paused. They're not actually paused, just getting everything caught up.
And the book.
Not bad. So it could be playing into an early desert. Although it'd be useful to have gloves and a fire source before going in. Alternatively, they might not even have to kill ammo anytime soon. They will eventually.
It's always nice to have literacy, though.
I wonder what kind of genre the book is. Is it religious? Is it science fiction? Fantasy? So, of course, because this is standard, we have to do escape first. Everyone's favorite place in the game, we know.
I could probably do it blind at this point.
Yeah, someone just brought up a good point in chat. We could see an early pedestal check now, whenever they go around to the Lost Woods, or Mysterious Woods.
Absolutely. Since they do have literacy. Not out of the cards at all.
And the first item in escape is a red rupee, 20 rupees. Still got two chests to go until we have to return to the beginning. Yeah, this is when that hookshot could come in handy to stun some of these guards, get them out of the way. The last thing our runners want to do at this point is die on their way to Zelda. And 3 bombs, they're going to be happy to have that. That'll allow them access to the 3 chests at the back of Escape.
Yeah, the last thing the runners are going to want to do is have to go back in if they don't find bombs.
Yes, it is possible that, you know, if both gloves are back there, you'd have to go through the entirety of Hyrule Castle to get to the back of Escape again. And that's a lot of time wasted. So I know these runners are breathing a sigh of relief right now. Well, let's see, what does Zelda hold for us? 50 rupees. Meaning now the runners can either purchase more bombs when they get to Kakariko, or go ahead and buy the probably single rupee off the bottle vendor.
Sometimes the bottle vendor is nice and gives back 20.
Once in a while, you get a refund, or maybe you just robbed him and get all 300. It's not likely. What's all dungeons mean? So, just to reiterate, for standard all dungeons, they will have to get all 7 crystals. Sorry. Yes, 7 crystals, all 3 pendants, defeat Aga 1, Aga 2, and Ganon. So if you do not have all 7 crystals, all 3 pendants, all that, I believe when you get to Ganon, he'll probably be invincible for the last phase. You won't be able to kill him, if it's anything like other seeds I've seen. So, making our way through the rest of Hyrule Castle, going to be heading into the Dark Room shortly. And because this is standard mode, you do have the light cone. It is granted to you just for escape. Normally in open mode to get through here, logically, you would have to have the lamp. However, that's not a problem here. And I'm sure our runners are happy they're not going off the train, kill enemies, and get some bombs. While extra bombs would be nice, it's not something they have to have right now. They can purchase them later.
It's just nice to have the bombs because there is one spot where there's 3 chests way back in the back that can be difficult to get to. So they're going to want to definitely check that location since they do have bombs.
Yep, there's a good chance it'll have something important as well, with it being so early and available. These rooms stink, though. When you're doing this casually, I can speak from experience. It's just constant taking damage, getting hit everywhere. It's easy to die, but these runners are good. They know what they're doing. And let's see what we've got hiding here in the back of Escape.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
We've got the map, 20 rupees, and the Master Sword.
Ooh, pedestal alive.
So runners are going to be happy with that Master Sword.
Could that mean an early Aga 1?
It is possible. You still would need the lamp, and we have plenty of locations left to check. So my mind automatically goes to that, but it's way too early to even think about that. Obviously, we will have to take care of Aga 1 eventually. So if they have access, there's no real sense in putting it off. And a piece of heart in Sanctuary. Not quite vanilla. And that is Escape done. Good riddance to that place. Can't stand it myself. Now it looks like the runners will probably just stick to the north route rather than save and quitting back to Link's house, which makes sense. They're already here. So we will see if one of them decides to check Pedestal early. Let's see, and bombs from the tree pull. That is a good find. What does the bush crab give us? Just some hearts. We don't need that.
Early game, it's helpful if the crab can give us some rupees.
It looks like a heart container at Lumberjacks, so that will not be required. It's possible the one runner could go back for it later on, again, since we will have to kill Aga 1, but I think it's probably unlikely. Meanwhile, DukeFireBird finding some more bombs.
Bombs for days.
And what will we have on the drop-in? Just a red rupee.
The runners are all gonna be doing a lot of the same routing for a little while. Maybe we can take that opportunity to thank our trackers today. We've got Reg and JR Biff. Thank you so much.
Yes, it definitely helps us commentators as well as the viewers try and get an accurate representation of what's going on. Doesn't look like anyone's checking Pedestal, though. Kind of unfortunate. So instead, we'll head straight in the Blinds Hut and see what we'll find. Actually, I take that back. Wolfman looks like he might be heading for the Pedestal. He is, maybe. 20 rupees, 3 bombs, heart container, and another heart container in Blind's Hut. And yes, Wolfman looks like he is heading for Pedestal. Get your hype out there.
Hype.
And the Moon Pearl in the back of Blind's Hut.
Fantastic.
A must-have item. Let's see, what is going to be on the pedestal? Just couch cash. Maybe someone will do a blind pull for us later anyway. And what have we got? Couldn't get a good look. It looked like, was that green at Eastern? 7 at Hera, and I couldn't see desert. Meanwhile, in the well, another heart container. And a heart piece to go with that. Lots of early health for the runners. A bomb upgrade. Another big 20, and another big 20. So far, nothing too major. Nothing that's saying you definitely need to go to this area or that area.
Yeah, there's a lot of items missing still before they can decide where they should go. Probably Desert Palace, given that they were given the book right away.
Indeed. The runners definitely want a fire source and a glove before they go there so they can complete it at once. However, it's not necessarily required. You could find those items in desert. Man, this seat is just loaded with hearts and heart containers. I believe the bottle vendor looked like it was a heart container. It was a piece of heart in the tavern. Chicken Shack has some more bombs for the runners. So it looks like they will not need to buy any bombs. They can save their money for Zora or Kiki, or maybe for later on, maybe a potion. What does the library hold? I believe that was an arrow upgrade, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what it looked like to me too, yeah.
And it looks like Duke is just going to go ahead and straight to the race game, as well as LewdDolphin. They're not going to check it out first. They're assuming this is important. And I can't blame them with so few items this early.
I agree, absolutely. I'm going to say Dark World is going to be pretty soon, considering they've got so many heart pieces.
It is very possible. Still need, at minimum, 2 items, either both gloves or a glove and a hammer. Or just the lamp, and then they could go do Aga for Dark World Axe. But Duke and Lewd both heading to South Shore. Wolfman finishing off Kakariko. I believe Karma is also heading down the South Shore as well. Indeed. So as I said earlier, the runners, early game, you typically take the same route, maybe minor variations. But it's mostly the same until you start getting the item. And we've got the heart container inside the dam area. And what is flooded outside? Another piece of heart. Duke deciding he will take it. I believe, yes, that is his 4th. It is a Sprite. And you will see that change later if we find some mail upgrades. So, sticking to the standard route, hitting the mini Molder Room Cave, 5 chests in here, definitely worth time to check. And very frequently has something of value. It's nice to have the hookshot in that cave to take care of those mini Moldorms. Trying to do that with bombs, it can be a little bit frustrating. Finding a big 20, a heart piece, another 20 rupees, 50 rupees, and a piece of heart. I take back the whole useful stuff thing.
Wow.
So nothing too important, but I don't think anyone's really wanting to gamble that at this point.
Looks like they really have no choice but to head over to the Vanilla Ice Rod Cave.
Indeed, and from there, there's a possibility we'll see some fake flippering action. Leaving that, since we do have the Moon Pearl. Alternatively, people might elect to head straight for Desert or Eastern.
Fake flippers is definitely a useful trick to know if you want to try and get ahead. It is not required, though. It would be considered a sequence break if they were to do it now, since they don't actually have flippers.
Indeed. However, it can save you. I've seen seeds where fake flippering will save you from having to do AGA 1. Again, in this case, it wouldn't really matter, but you could find something like a sword upgrade. I mean, that would be huge early on. Instead, we get, looks like 100 rupees. That does give them Zora money. That's extra incentive to fake flipper, and I think Lewd may do just that.
Was it 100 or 300?
It was 100, because they were at 4 something going in. So Duke is deciding to head over to Eastern Palace. At minimum, logically, you can get 4 items, 3 from Saha, and anywhere from 1 to 3 in Eastern with Apple Lamp.
Dolphin is trying to set up fake flippers.
Yep, so he needs to be right on the edge of the screen when he jumps in the water. Just like that. Now, keep in mind, if he gets hit, he instantly dies. ID Karma doing the same thing. Let's see which move pays off. Meanwhile, Duke finding a piece of heart, another piece of heart, and another 20 rupees. So he will probably head into Eastern Palace. Meanwhile, let's see what the hobo has for us. Looks like a bottle, and I believe that was a fairy inside.
Yeah, it was a fairy.
Keep that in mind in case LewdDolphin decides, let's do a death warp from somewhere. Might get a nasty surprise at the end of that. That doesn't open up Sick Kid next time they're back near Kakariko. So Duke is entering Eastern. Karma is heading to get his bottle. Lewd is heading for the Waterfall Cave and then to Zora. Meanwhile, Wolfman getting ready to pick up his 100 rupees in the Ice Rod Cave. And I think Karma's probably going to head to Eastern now, not continuing the fake flipper. Let's see, we've got half magic inside the Waterfall Cave and a single green rupee.
Half magic is helpful for when you get those heavy use items like the fire rod.
Indeed, I never complain about half magic. I did not get a chance to see what was on the ledge for LewdDolphin.
I saw a key, but I know it's not key sanity, so my eyes are playing tricks on me.
Maybe we slipped key sanity in. Never know. Chat is saying hammer. Meanwhile, Zora with the glove. So that was a good call going there.
Wow.
Now,
Dark
keep in
world
mind,
access.
that, well, no, because we don't have flippers to get the hammer, and that glove is actually a sequence break right now. Until we find either flippers or the mitts, that is a sequence break. Still very useful. And I missed what Duke got. It sounded like rupees. Oh, and there's more rupees. So now the question is, what will we find first? Flippers or another glove?
I'm gonna go with flippers.
Lewd taking on a dark room, as is Duke. So the screens are black for a reason, doing two different dark rooms. I believe Lewd is heading up to Death Mountain. Duke wants that last chest in Eastern. Wolfman looks like he's fake flippering, trying to get to the Houlihan room. Good source of early rupees. And just a piece of heart for Duke in Eastern. So it looks like Eastern was a bit of a bust. So Lewd has access to a lot. With Hookshot, he can access East Death Mountain. Another bottle there he could access if he wants it. Meaning the bottle we got from Hobo really isn't a sequence break anymore. Because we could access the bottle in Death Mountain if we really wanted it. Yeah, he has access to 8 items on the east side. He does not have access to Hera at the moment, unfortunately. We have DukeFireBird heading for Desert. See what's on the ledge before we head into Agana Cave. Actually, he might wait on that cave because he can access Desert. And you checked it so fast, I didn't even see what it was. It was the mirror! I just want to double check that.
We've got a lantern on the mountain.
And that is a sequence break. So that means that actually there is an early flute out there. Because you need the flute to get to the lantern. Dark rooms are never required by this logic.
Red boomerang. Fire sword. And the cape.
Cape.
I got one.
Tempered sword this early, not at all bad. Meanwhile, Desert doesn't look like it's boots locked as of yet, unless Big Key is on the torch. And it is not boots locked. We'll have to see what's on the torch, see if it's a required item. Wolfman getting his gloves.
The flute,
Yes,
there's the flute.
I apparently missed it. Where was the flute?
Oh, never mind. My eyes deceived me.
Okay.
It was a boomerang.
Gotcha. Now, we know we will see an early flute somewhere. Might find it here in this desert big chest. And there it is in the desert big chest. So that still doesn't put us back on sequence. Gloves are still a sequence break. However, lamp will not be. So desert, definitely a good call. You get flute, you get mirror, which gives you Hera access. You will, if you do East Death Mountain first, you will have the fire source, so you can complete Hera if basement is required, or get an item out of there if you choose to. Meanwhile, an arrow upgrade in Agana Cave. Nothing of importance.
So it looks like we have confirmed that Eastern Palace is a green pendant, and the other two Light World dungeons are crystals.
So Duke's getting ready to go activate his flute, and you all will hear the sound of the music that you know and love. You will not hear me sing. I'm not that kind of commentator. My apologies. But I think we can remain silent for this.
A moment of silence.
There you go. So Karma and Lewd both heading for desert. They'll be getting their flute here shortly. I can only imagine Duke's going to head straight to Death Mountain at this point. With everything that's open there, you have to. The question is, will he go straight to Hera, or will he do East Death Mountain first? What he wants to do is East Death Mountain so he can get the lamp and be good for Hera if the fire source is required.
He's gonna go do a sequence break to check and see what's on the old man now.
Now, we know it won't be a sequence break for long. He does not know that. They didn't get a chance to see what he had earlier. I assume it was not anything of importance. Oh, silvers!
Silvers? Those are definitely
Apparently,
silvers.
yeah, that was something important. I missed it. Shout out to the trackers for happening to see that. Apparently when Lewd got it, and I missed it. This is why the commentators don't track and talk at the same time. Yeah, I saw something blue on the torch. I think it might have just been a blue rupee, so nothing of importance.
The torch of
desert.
desert.
Yes.
I think it's a boomerang.
Nope, that is a blue rupee. Either way, blue rupee, blue boomerang, they're not going back for it. That is not required. So Duke is heading straight for Hera, so if basement is required, he's going to leave. They have to wonder if there's an item in basement and he doesn't find the fire rod up here, would he ever go back? He is going back for that piece of heart up there. Getting a little bit of extra health. And since we do have the Master Sword and the book, we could check the Ether Tablet while we're up here. And the good old level 1 shield. I gotta say, I can't stand those dead rocks. Always getting in my way. I think they're probably the worst enemy in the game, at least most annoying. So let's see, are we going to be fire source locked? There is the small key. So Duke's hoping to find the big key in this next chest. Chance it's in the basement. Meanwhile, over at Sick Kid, a heart container, 11 hearts for IB Karma, and the bow in Tower of Hera.
Good times.
So Duke cannot progress until he goes to the Eastern Death Mountain.
But the bow is definitely helpful to have.
Especially with silvers this early. Also, LewdDolphin, while he's here, going to finish off Desert. No items on Landmo, but is a required kill. It is a crystal. And Duke getting that bottle, he did not sequence break the hobo. So this will be his first bottle. It appears to be empty.
Or a bee.
Interesting, he's choosing to not do East Death Mountain at this time. Maybe he'll be fluting back to get there. Yeah, he's gotta go check Sick Kid first. Why not? It's a very quick check with the flute.
It looks like Lewd is going to be the first to beat one of our bosses. And has his first crystal.
Good old Landmo.
Giving us the compass. He can now navigate through the desert.
And Duke is actually choosing to go complete Eastern. Now, I don't think there's any items left. It is Green Pendant, so you will have that to turn in. Although he does not have Lamp. So for him, this is a sequence break. Again, with us knowing Lamp is accessible to him, it's not really a sequence break.
Yeah, he should be able to get through the Dark Room, no problem. Just in case there are folks listening in, trying to figure out what we mean by sequence breaks. A sequence break means that the runners are doing a little bit of a glitch to prevent themselves from having to follow the logic in the game. So if they find themselves in a dark room, it means that the lamp is available somewhere to them. So they don't have to go through that dark room. But a lot of our runners are very good at what they're doing. So they are very proficient in the dark.
So trying to think about everything we've seen so far, I think unless Saha has an item when you turn into Green Pendant, we may be seeing Aga 1 very soon. Because even though no player has checked every place, I believe we've seen about everything there is to see currently. Actually, no, I take that back. Hera could still have some.
Who?
Tower of Hera, because we haven't seen the top part of it. We've only seen the bow come out of there. It could still have flippers, it could have gloves, or mitts rather. Or fetch quest items, everybody's favorite.
I think there's 3 items that they'd be able to get if they have the lamp. 4 items. Because if they have the lamp, they can go into the basement to get the big key, because we know that's where the big key is right at this point. So then after that, there's a big chest. There's a chest on the same floor there of the big chest. And the
And then Moldorm.
Moldorm.
Yes, but we know the map and the compass are up there, so there is still an item. The question is whether or not it'll be an important item.
I'm going to say, this is just a prediction here, I'm gonna say that maybe the pyramid has our flippers.
Wouldn't that be something? It would not surprise me. I'd be Karma doing East Death Mountain. We'll get his lamp right there. Probably wishing he hadn't stepped foot in the Hera first, so he will make his way back after this. Meanwhile, DukeFireBird on a half heart. Working his way through Eastern. Gotta make sure not to take any more damage now. And Karma gunning all the red. Now, LewdDolphin has the lamp, so he can actually go ahead and go complete the basement of Hera to get the big key and progress.
Woldorm hype.
Oh no, Karma, you're not supposed to fall when you're doing the bomb jump. Those bomb jumps can be a bit tricky. It's not that simple to move over a single pixel when you have to. And Lew deciding to get up and stretch.
Coffee break.
And we'll see what the Armos Knights have. See if I'm correct in that we've seen all the items, as well as we can visit Saha while we're here. Love the silver arrows for that. Indeed, it was the compass. But again, green pendant. We could go bring that to Saha, get a free item. So normally I would be looking at crystal counts to see who is ahead. However, for this race, you might as well just look at the overall picture and say Duke and Lewd are pretty much tied at 1 apiece. Because remember, in all dungeons, you will need all pendants. In addition to the crystals, in addition to Aga 1 and Aga 2, and of course Ganon. Alright, and what will Saha hold for us today? Just 3 bombs. Wolfman also heading up to Hera, but again did not do East Death Mountain, so will not have the lamp. And in Hera we've got the map. Lewd not going to go for the bomb jump. Instead we'll just drop on in. This is definitely an Aghanim seed, whether it looks required or not, because it is required for all dungeons. Big chest holding the compass, so Trolldorm has the last item.
Of course he does.
However, with Tempered Sword, makes him a little bit easier.
If I remember correctly, it would be 3 hits.
That sounds correct, because I believe I've seen 1 slash and a spin splash, which would be 3. And there he is. We'll see if he holds anything useful. Just a red rupee. I believe at this point the play is Aga. Unless I am missing something.
Let's just see who does it first.
Again, there's no reason to put it off. The only thing that would help more is sword upgrades along the way, just to clear it a bit faster. Which we know Tempered is at East Death Mountain. Duke will be getting his shortly. And I assume Wolf will be heading there after he clears Hera. Well, after he gets the bow out of Hera, I should say. Karma, you're missing something. I think Karma really wanted to avoid the basement.
The tile room. It can be trolly.
It really can. I mean, you see the snoozer strats, but if you don't do that, you can actually easily die here. I've done that way too many times. So LewdDolphin is going to make his first trip in the Eastern and last trip in the Eastern, as he's coming in here with the bow and the lamp and complete it all in one go. Wolf getting his bow, realizing I can't do anything else, and yes, he's getting his hook shot out, so he'll be going to get his lamp, his tempered, whatever other red stuff is on East Death Mountain, the cape, probably some 20 rupees.
Moment of silence for DukeFireBird's Walk of Shame.
Too bad the boots aren't at the end of this.
That would be terrible.
We know they aren't. It would be nice. I mean, seriously, I'd walk that way for 20 bucks. It's a long walk, but it's 20 bucks. So at this point, Duke can go finish Hera. Will he do that? Yes, and I can't blame him because he still has an item behind. We know it's nothing of importance. He doesn't know that. I imagine within the next few minutes, these runners are going to start heading to Aga.
Having the tempered sword is definitely helpful getting through Aga Tower.
Oh, definitely. Trying to get through that with fighter swords, definitely doable. It does take a while, especially if you're on low health, dealing with the gold guards. Lewd getting his last item, going to head on over to the Armos Knights. Piece of cake to Silvers.
So we've got Palace of Darkness is red.
Meyer is also a red crystal. Thieves Town is red pendant. Blue pendant over at Turtle Rock. Oh, Wolfman taking a death. I didn't get a chance to see where that was at. I also don't think he has not done Old Man, so he has not gotten his silver arrows yet. I do wonder if he'll be putting that off. So silver arrows are required by the logic for Ganon, however, these runners are good enough to be able to do it without. However, it does make it a lot easier. And it looks like Karma is going to be the first to make the play on Aga 1. Meanwhile, Duke, unfortunately missing the coffee break strats, he has to destroy the tiles. So Lewd getting the green pendant will be turning that in, and then I imagine heading straight to Aga as well. Meanwhile, Wolfman heading back over to Eastern.
Wolfman also checked Sick Kid was rewarded with a full heart container.
Fun to note that LewdDolphin is the only runner on screen to clear all 3 Light World dungeons. Also important to note that all 3 dungeons were completable with that sequence break before even touching Dark World.
He left a couple of angry bombs for Sahasrahla.
Not happy. So this is why we're talking about Tempered really helping Aga Tower against these guards, as well as the ones later on. Fun fact, it's easy to forget about these chests. If you're ever playing Key Sanity, these chests in Aga Tower can contain important items, don't forget. But in normal mode, they're just always going to be guaranteed keys.
Now, if you want to try out Key Sanity, there will be a Key Sanity race later on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
I have done one Key Sanity race. Ganon's Tower Big Key was in the 208th place checked. I will not be doing that again anytime soon. But it is a fun challenge. Duke down to his last heart. It's not a deal breaker if you die here, but you still don't want to do it. Unfortunately, it doesn't have access to those pots with the hearts below them. So Lewd heading to Aga 1 as well. Wolfman finishing up Eastern Palace. DukeFireBird finishing up Tower of Hera. Oh no! And Duke falls. Does he have that fairy? No, because he's in sequence break. So he's going to have to go back up the tower. Because at this point, he doesn't know that Trolldorm only has the rupees. He might be thinking there could be a glove up there or something else of importance.
Speaking of gloves, I don't know if I've had a moment of... I don't know if I've had a moment of forgetfulness or not, but it looks like Wolfman and LewdDolphin have gloves right now.
Yes, they were from the sequence broken Zora.
Okay, so they did go back up. Okay.
So still looking for the other gloves, because until we find either flippers or gloves, those gloves there are a sequence break. You're not meant to have them. Also, fun fact, we are 41 minutes in and still do not have Dark World access. We're working on it. We've almost got it.
Pretty sure this means that they have to do Aghanim 1 in order to progress.
Yes. Which is why they're choosing to do that now rather than later. Lewd having some issues with that guard. That guard wants him dead. And
Wolfman
Duke getting
with his pendant.
Yep, and Duke getting his revenge on Moldorm. Nice clean fight the second time. How many blue balls are we going to get?
I'm gonna go with 3.
That sounds like a good number.
Good average.
I believe there's 1 so far. So blue balls are always going to be the same for each runner. Unless they die, then I think it changes. So that way one player doesn't get an advantage, it's just due to pure RNG. Now Wolfman now heading over to the desert. Yeah, he has been here. Okay, so I guess he's coming here to clear it now. And Duke's finally giving up and saying, alright, it's Aga time. So I didn't count the blue balls, however, I think 3 was correct. And we'll see, I think there has to be progression either here on the pyramid or in pod, if I'm correct. Catfish, they're not supposed to have access to, although Lewd and Wolf will with their gloves.
Just bombs on the pyramid. Just the bombs.
Of course. Now we do have Bo, so there's a good chance we'll get Bo locked here in pod, I imagine. Obviously, with the Bo, we'll be able to clear, but Bo didn't lead to anything of importance in Eastern. And this one, it's useful to know the logic. Obviously, right now, they don't really have a choice in going to pod. However, you know, if they had options, if they had access to the western part of the Dark World, they might still want to do this, just thinking that Bo would lead to an item.
Well, they have the hook shot, which means that they can get across this bridge. Just north of the bridge, they can go across right now. LewdDolphin's going across.
Yes, actually, this is a sequence break, if I'm correct. You need hammer or the glove to get to that hookshot part, I think. I can't remember if it's above or below the peg. Someone might be able to clarify that. So let's see, 2 different checks going on. We got the first chest and pod, as well as Graveyard Ledge. Bit of an out-of-the-way spot to check, but it's good to get it done early. And is that Fire Rod? It's hard to see which one. I believe that was Fire Rod. No, it is Ice Rod. one of the trollier items in the game. Reason being, Ice Rod can literally be anywhere except on Trinax. So I had to refresh. I'm not sure if Karma's found anything else in Pod. I don't think he's gone to any of the other chests because he still has a key. Choosing to do the bow lock side first. Perhaps having the same thought process as I did, where bow is locking something of importance. Also, because we have the bow, I don't think we'll be seeing any Pod key locks this seed. Runners will be breathing a sigh of relief at that one, especially those that were a part of the daily the other day that had that key lock.
R.I.P. seed.
Yeah, no, just 2 keys there. Wolfman getting his silver arrows here in a moment. He'll be wishing he had done this before Eastern. LewdDolphin choosing to do Skull Woods right now. This room's such a pain without King of Samaria.
It looks like chat is a little bit salty about our past seeds from the weekend.
Sorry! I almost joined that one too, and I decided not to at the last moment. So I found at least one item in Skullwoods. I missed if he did the first section. That looked like it was just an arrow upgrade, so nothing important. Meanwhile, Pod, of course, having all the keys at the front, haven't found anything else yet. Okay, so Lewd has not done the first part of Skullwoods yet. Finding a key there. One item left to find. And was that? Let me confirm. Karma get what I think he got? He did. I just brought up King of Samaria, and there it is in Pod. LewdDolphin getting 3 bombs. That is both items out of Skullwoods. Nothing important. So Skullwoods is a confirmed bust. Now, the cannon is good, but that's not actually progression right now. So there's something else here in Pod.
Well, it is needed for the late game stuff, so that's good.
Yes, definitely good to have. And fortunately, in Standard, it's not required as your weapon of choice versus, some of the bosses like Landmo. That's something I don't think I personally can handle. I'm upgrading C-shaped house for LewdDolphin. Lewd choosing to stick with this sequence break, hoping to find something here in Village of Outcasts. Plenty of item locations available. Whoa!
Das Boots!
There's some progression.
Gotta go fast!
And the flippers!
And the flippers, oh my goodness.
The gloves are now accessible, as is the hammer. Karma does not know either of those items are there. So we'll have to see if he decides to put that off for a while.
Karma?
And was that
a rod? That was a rod.
That has to be Fire Rod. Wow. Pod is loaded.
Amazing.
So that means Karma can go clear Skull Woods in one check. Lewd will have to double dip. And now Karma, one last item on Helmasaur. I'm not sure if it's a compass or an actual item. However, we cannot acquire it because we don't have the hammer. The Karma now can get the hammer if he chooses to go to check the Flipper's locked location. I imagine that's one thing he will be doing. Yes.
So once he gets the hammer, what else is left? The Titan's mitts. Oh, and we also need some medallions.
Yes, so we will need at least one medallion. We'll need Titan's mitts. What else indeed? That might actually be it.
Now, of course, that doesn't mean that those aren't going to be hard items to find.
Indeed. Let's see, we know they'll find mitts. What else? It's possible that there could be a medallion in GT that's required for Turtle Rock, since you don't need Turtle Rock cleared to get into GT. We'll have to wait and see. So, LewdDolphin making the play on Thieves Town. Didn't get a chance to see if he found anything good. Karma will be getting hammer shortly, as well as picking up gloves right now. While DukeFireBird getting his gotta go fast boots.
Gotta go fast.
Karma's gotta be feeling good right now.
Yeah, I wonder if he feels like he's in the lead right now.
Well, he may not know it, but he very much is. Question is, where do you go from here? Because you have a lot of the world open to you. Looks like he wants to go back and finish off Pod. Can't blame him. As well as with that being a Fat Fairy Crystal, that could become important. Duke picking up his Fire Rod. Wolfman finishing off Death Mountain, then we'll be heading to Aga 1. And Lewd continuing through Thieves Town. And Lewd apparently found the powder. Thank you, chat, for letting us know. We'll see if that pays off a bit later on. So Karma's going in the pod, just clear off Helmisar, get whatever's left, and move on, I imagine, to the western side of the Dark World. Duke's just playing a bit of cleanup. And I imagine he'll probably follow suit and go into Zora's domain. He also does not know gloves or hammer are there. Actually, he might be thinking catfish. With the flippers, he can go over there. Actually, no. I take that back. He can get there. He still can't pick up the rock. We'll see what he's thinking. If he survives. Optometrist said I had vision. With all blind puns for you. You never see him coming. Duke taking a death that really wasn't that big of a time loss. Trying to get some spin speed going. Decides it's not worth it. What does blind have? I believe that was an arrow upgrade.
My stream did a little bit of a blip there, so I didn't see that, unfortunately.
Apparently, Lewd got blue mail as well. So Thieves Town, not too bad. Thieves Town loaded with safeties. Could come in handy. Still curious to see where Duke's going. Yep, he is doing the exact same thing. He will be getting his glove and hammer shortly. Meanwhile, Karma taking on Helmisar King. Pretty simple fight. 17 hits of the hammer. If you hold your sword out, you get a little bit of extra range as well as you're just facing straight up the entire time. Useful trick to know. Lewd doing the dig game. Let's see, how many digs will it take today? Looks like 14 digs for $5. And Wolfman finally heading over to Aga 1 with the Light World clear.
Firebird checking the hobo for a bottle.
Blue mail was in the chess game. I assume we'll be confirming that here in a bit. Well, South the Grove, only a bomb upgrade. I feel like that place either has a good item or a piece of heart every time. Today seems to be the exception. Lude continuing to check what I like to call Dark World Sphere 0, because once you have the majority of Dark World access, you can check all these areas. Getting Ether off of Stumpy.
Fantastic.
That could be important. We'll see. Looks like Lude's heading over to what is called Hype Cave, but let's get real, it has not been hype in quite some time. Maybe I'll give it a commentator's curse and all of a sudden it'll be hype this time.
There was a seed this weekend that was hype.
Yeah, once in a while it seems to be good. That looks like a green potion.
Yep,
That's
green
not
potion.
too bad, not really required.
Arrow upgrade. More arrow upgrades. And money.
And the piece of heart. Not really a hype cave. Unlike Zora's Domain, which was very hype. So I'd be Karma choosing to finish off Eastern Palace. And we'll see what Duke decides to do after this. He's already cleared Eastern. He could go straight to Desert. He could go to the Western Dark World. There's a lot of places open.
And they do have to all go to all of the dungeons, so we're still quite we still have a lot of this seed to do.
Lude going to check what is on the Bombos tablet. I'm guessing maybe 3 bombs. Or 20 bucks.
Wolfman off to defeat Aghanim 1.
Duke heading to his Cave of Disappointment.
The Cave of Love and Money.
And not much else. I keep saying one of these races, I'm just going to skip that cave completely. And that'll probably be the time it is a super hype cave. So let's look at what is available right now. Swamp is available. Skullwoods is available to clear. Ice Palace is not available. Yeah, so I'm thinking we might see Swamp pretty soon. Because we can't do much more until we find Titans.
Yeah, Swamp Palace, they can full clear right now, having the hook shot. I know a lot of people try and put it off as long as they can, but that might be the play. Maybe they'll find the Titan mitts there.
Lude heading over to Pod. Hasn't been there yet. He'll be thoroughly rewarded after Kiki rips him off. So is Duke doing it? Yep, Duke is doing the swamp play. Cannot blame him. Now, he could go to Skullwoods or Thieves Town. We know that's not going to pay off in terms of progression, even though he will still have to clear both of those eventually. So this is more than likely the right play.
According to the logic, I think it is. Considering Hookshot was one of the first items that they got, this is definitely in the logic.
That is true. Hookshot did lead to Lamb, which was progression early on. Required for Aga 1, amongst other things. So it's possible that I might not be thinking like that, but yeah, I agree. This is probably the way to go. And there are 6 items in here. Well, it'll be interesting to see if any of the players decide not to do left side, at least initially. Probably depends on the items they find first. Oh, and that doesn't help matters. The compass, so we know there is at least one item on the left side. Wolfman choosing to do catfish. We haven't seen this yet.
Just
and
a
of course, indeed. When you do catfish, he doesn't have anything. When you don't do catfish, he has everything. So both Duke and Karma are currently clearing swamp. Wolfman will probably be heading a pod in a moment.
And Dolphin is in pod right now. So there's currently a conversation at chat right now, how best to get into Randomizer. How did you get into Randomizer, Final Flame?
I actually found Randomizer by watching streams. Specifically, I was watching TGH one day, and he started playing Randomizer. And before I had ever actually seen it, my thought process was, why is everybody talking about Randomizer? I can't even stand the Link to the Past. Which is true, I don't like Link to the Past. But the Randomizer just doesn't seem like Link to the Past. It's logic. And that's why I really enjoyed it. And decided ultimately to start running it. Meanwhile, DukeFireBird just ran the 300 rupees. Don't think that's needed at this point. And he is choosing to do left side. But yeah, I've watched a lot of streams and decided to give it a go myself. And a lot of people recommend, trying regular Link to the Past first. Personally, that's not really needed. It certainly helps, but as long as you watch a lot or try a lot, you tend to learn the dungeon layouts and all that. And it's pretty fun. We do have a Discord available, which I'm sure could be linked to somebody if they needed it. As well as this gets talked about a lot in the Speed Gaming Discord. If you haven't joined that, be sure to join. As well as you can join in on these daily races. You'll find information on that inside the Discord or by typing !daily.
It's definitely a fun community to be a part of. A Link to the Past is my favorite game, Zelda-wise. So getting into the randomizer scene, I definitely agree. It's like a new game every time you generate a seed because everything is random. The logic is different. So it's like trying to complete a puzzle over and over again. That's always going to be different.
That is very true. And I think that's what keeps it interesting. That's how people are able to play it constantly. It's never the same game twice in a row. You can play it similarly, but because the items are randomized, you just never know. So we're going to see what's here on the left side of Swamp. Karma and Duke both checking it out. Duke will find 10 arrows. And what else? I'm guessing Big Key. Nope, it is the map. So left side was not required, but they did not know that. And while we have a moment of downtime, this would be a great time to remind you guys that if you're enjoying what you're seeing, if you like these runners, be sure to give them a follow. You can find all of their stream links there in chat. Also, shout-outs to our trackers, JR Biff as well as Reg. You're not hearing them, but they are making sure you are well informed on what these runners are doing. You can find their links there. And as well as a shout-out to B-Links, my co-commentator, and my link is in there as well.
And thanks to our trackers as well.
So let's see, what is in the back half of Swamp? There's got to be something back here. We say that. Could be proven wrong. I'm thinking Titansmith somewhere. 2 locations left. There's the big key. Gotta go back for that. And yes, the person asking about what emulator we would recommend, I personally use SNES 9X. I know there's a couple others as well, but I'm not as familiar with them.
Looks like Wolfman just picked up their Cane of Samaria and Palace of Darkness.
We'll be getting boots here in a bit, as well as the fire rod.
I'm sure Wolfman will be quite happy with that.
Oh no, Karma taking a death! But has the fairy.
Where were they?
In Swamp, in that room with the statue, I did not get a chance. I don't think Karma has the big keys. I don't think he's done the big chest. Duke is gambling the big chest, deciding instead to take on Argus. And will he be rewarded? Just a red rupee.
Yeah, just a red rupee.
Now, if you were him, though, with all these item locations left to check, would you go back in there for the big chest?
I don't know. Probably, yeah. I don't like leaving things undone, so I would.
I feel like the big chest has an item, but as I would expect, he's gambling it because he has no idea what else is out there. So you'd be going back in for one item that's not guaranteed to be progression. Karma also not going to the big chest. That's true. They do also have Thieves Town big chest to check. So there is a couple more spots. There's no guarantee that either of those has something, although I expect one of them to. So Karma taking on Argus. Duke will be heading to the Dark World. Either Village of Outcasts first or Skullwoods. He has the Fire Rod, so there's not really a reason to delay Skullwoods. And yes, just to reiterate, what we are looking for, possibly 1 or 2 medallions, as well as the Titan's Mitts. And I believe, looking at the items, LewdDolphin appears to be in the lead. 4 dungeons cleared, Karma has 3, Duke has 3, Wolfman has 3, and Lew just happens to have a lot more items. As well as heading for their 5th dungeon clear.
It's really hard to say because sometimes somebody might come across that that item that is needed way before everybody else does, so they could catch up still. Everyone's still in the race.
Alternatively, somebody that's ahead could find an item that's a red herring and follow that logic to a dead end. I think it's probably less likely here in all dungeons, but in regular opener standard, that's definitely a possibility. You know, you could get baited into, say, Swamp, when reality Swamp has absolutely nothing, and is a pendant. Wolf going for his hammer. He knew it was there. Duke doing a bomb jump over to the big chest. I feel like it's one of the easier bomb jumps. You don't really have to know much about bomb jumping to get that one to work, fortunately. As well as, unlike the bomb jumps in Hera, you don't have the possibility of falling 1 or 2 or 3 floors down. So Duke will get his last item out of Skullwoods here, and then I imagine he'll go complete it. There's no reason not to. Karma picking up Ether. Again, we don't know if that's required or not yet.
Yeah, we won't know until we're able to do a Misery Mire check. In order to do that, we need the Titan's Mitts.
Now, is Wolfman going to get his heart container out of Lumberjacks? I believe so. Yes, he is. I told you earlier somebody might go and do that, since we knew we had to kill Aga 1. Duke not having to worry about the chest under the catwalk there at the beginning. It looks really easy to get to. You actually have to go all the way around the dungeon. But not required this seed. And this room with the Gibdos, this can be a nightmare. Especially if you don't have a lot of magic.
Yeah, this is definitely a dungeon to have half magic in.
Half magic. Blue mail helps. A good sword helps from Mothula. Like, it's possible to do this on, green mail, 3 hearts. It's a bit of a pain, though.
Well, with green mail, one hit and you're dead. With 3 hearts.
Yeah, I would never survive it. Mothula, be a bro. Help us out. Mothula, not wanting to play nice. That's typical. Duke down to 1.5 hearts. I don't think he has that fairy either. And takes an unfortunate death. No, he does have the fairy. And there we go. Mothula down. You won't be rewarded with an item, but will be rewarded with a crystal. Meanwhile, Karma and Wolfman both currently in Skullwoods. I expect them both to clear as they do all have the Fire Rod. Meanwhile, Lewd working his way through Swamp. We might get to see what's in that big chest.
Yeah, they might just decide to check for us.
This is the one unfortunate thing about Skullwoods. You have to work your way all the way back around, back through the dungeon. It's a little bit of a maze. Oh, Karma unfortunately getting grabbed by the Wall Master. Let's see, what is Duke's plan of action? I didn't quite see what was on that ledge. I think it was a red rupee. Yes, 20 rupees. So, cape not required as of yet for anything.
It's a good safety to have, though, for sure.
Oh, definitely. And that or the Cane of Burn can be required to get across spike pits. Both in Ice Palace, sometimes, or Mire. Just one other one, Spike Cave, specifically because of one-hit KO mode, where you take one hit and you're dead. And they modes do use the same logic, so you're never required to damage boost across Spike.
The cape is also needed for Bumper Cave to get a Dark World item that's on the ledge. So in order to get through this bumper, you need to have the cape on. So that could be a check, actually. I don't know if anyone's actually looked at it yet.
Is Spike Cave logically behind a bottle or only cane cape? That is a good question. I think it is cape or cane plus bottle or half magic. I might be mistaken. I've seen 2 different answers in chat, so I can't be 100% sure which is right. And again, that's because of one-hit KO mode. There's actually a couple spots in that cave where you can stand halfway across the spikes without taking damage so that you can use a bottle if need be. So I didn't see it was in Bonk Rocks. I don't think it was anything. I imagine Duke will check King's Tomb after this. I don't believe we've seen that yet. So I know Duke's about to get his Ice Rod. Normally in this situation, that's not something you'd want to see, but again, in all dungeons, it is required for Trineck. Meanwhile, Wolfman tackling Mothula. Down to 4 hearts. Make that 3. Make that 2. But clutches it out.
He made it out alive.
A lot of people do not. King's Tomb with... Was that the validation arrow?
Well, it's got to be somewhere, right?
Yep. So DukeFireBird officially has a valid run. Now we just need a blind pull a pedestal. Now, Lewd's about to get the big key. Will he go back for the big chest? Yes, so we will get to see if this is required. If it is, a couple of our runners are going to be in trouble. I said earlier, I called Titan's Mitts in this place. See if I'm correct. Alternatively, it could be Vanilla Mitts.
Vanilla Mitts. That would be Thieves Town Big Chest.
Yes. So let's see, what is it for Lewd? But it is Mitts!
Oh, man.
Oh, that's going to hurt Karma and Duke.
Yeah. Also, to note, Duke did pick up the blue mail in the chess game, so chat was correct a little while ago when they were talking about that part.
So, fun fact. There is a possibility that Lewd is in go mode at this point. We do not know until we see the medallion requirements from Meyer or T-Rock. There's a bigger chance that we still need at least one medallion. Either way, that is a great find. I would love to say this is why you don't gamble on these chests, but unfortunately, sometimes the gambles pay off, sometimes they don't. Karma finding out Pedestal will not be paying off today. But just important to note, this could still be anybody's race, because we don't know where the other medallions are. Right, and it appears that we unfortunately have our first forfeit from the race by Shady Force. There is no comment yet, so I'm not quite sure why. Always unfortunate to see those. You want to ideally see everybody finish, no matter how long it takes. And, you know, for those of you that are new to Randomizer, might be thinking, man, this would take me 4 or 5 hours to complete a seed. To be honest, everybody that has played Randomizer, you don't start out getting hour and a half, 2-hour seeds. We've all had those long ones. So don't ever let that be a reason for you not wanting to play or not wanting to race us. Racers of all skill levels are invited to these daily races, as well as trying out for the tournaments. Lewd going to Misery Mire, we will see what medallion is required. He really wants to see Ether. Alright. I'll have to watch the main stream and double check that. It was, I think that was Ether. I can't confirm.
There's the butter sword and a piece of heart in the back of the shed there.
See, someone saying Quake. Okay, people are saying Quake. So that means no Mire access yet, but Ether could still lead us to Turtle Rock. If Ether is the required medallion for Turtle Rock, we do have access, as well as all of East F Mountain in the Dark World. As always, thank you, chat, for confirming us on this stuff. Yeah, when you're watching 4 screens, it's not always the easiest to catch all this. And Lewd now wants to know, okay, am I going into Turtle Rock now? Karma validating with a single arrow. Duke working his way through Thieves Town as well as Wolfman. As a reminder, Duke and Karma both left the big chest in Swamp behind, which has the mitts. They will have to go back there eventually. Wolfman is a bit behind overall. He has yet to go to Swamp. So we'll see if he grabs that big chest or decides to gamble it. And Lewd, indeed, doing Dark Death Mountain. I'd say a pretty good chance of finding Quake up here. And we will find out.
There's a lot of chests for him to find, so definitely.
Oh, indeed. If we have Turtle Rock access, that's 5 chests plus Mimic Cave. We have 2 in Super Bunny Cave. We have 4 in Hookshot Cave. Plus the island. I didn't see what was on it earlier. I imagine nothing great. Otherwise, chat would have probably pointed that out for us, as they're pretty good at.
So far, nothing in Dark Death Mountain here. Let's see Hookshot Cave.
So, fun fact if you're new to Randomizer, you might not realize it, but you can access that very first chest in Hookshot Cave via just the boots if you don't have Hookshot, and that can contain Hookshot. I have seen it. As a matter of fact, I think one of my last seeds had that. Getting the Cana Burna. Another nice safety. A little bit on the laggy side. With Cape, I don't expect to see the cane used, but you never know. Each player has their preferences. And Quake for Turtle Rock, so Ether is useless.
So both dungeons need Quake. So now the question is, where is Quake?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Lewd didn't decide to check Spike Cave while up there. Instead, choosing to go straight for Ice Palace, which isn't a bad idea. However, if Quake is in Spike Cave or somewhere else, then you're missing out on the chance to go mode Ice Palace, which is much quicker than searching for items. Gosh, I could go for a Pepsi right now. I don't know where I got that sudden craving from.
Chat is talking about pop.
Shoutouts to the Sprite. Or in this case, the Pepsi Sprite. And we have not seen a magic bat check. DukeFireBird doing that now. At this point, anywhere could have Quake. That's the one item standing in our way. Nope, just 3 bombs. And an early big key in Ice Palace.
Very good, yes.
I gotta say, out of all the dungeons that I've played in this, Ice Palace is probably the one that seems to have given me the most trouble when I was learning. Just getting used to the layout, trying to understand the logic behind it, whether or not hookshot is required, just depends on key placements. So definitely one of my biggest recommendations, actually. Hold on, Wolfman checking the big chest here, just 300 rupees by the looks of it. So nothing in that big chest in Thieves. But one of my biggest suggestions to anybody new to Randomizer looking to learn it is especially getting used to dungeons, paying attention to the layouts, trying to maximize your key usage. Looks like Lewd is not going for the bomb jump. Definitely, it's never required. Definitely not needed when you're planning on searching through for an item.
It definitely saves a lot of time if you're able to do that bomb jump, though.
Oh, definitely, and I can tell you, it might look a bit difficult. If anybody is ever interested in learning that, hop on over to the link to the Past Randomizer Discord. There's actually a little guide of just 4 pictures that makes it so simple on how to do it. It's much easier than you might realize. I highly recommend it. Wolfman taking a death has the fairy as backup. You know, we have yet to find Bugnet. That is quite unfortunate. And Wolfman taking care of Blind. Blind is a scripted fight. It's not that bad once you get used to it. If you don't know exactly how it works, it's very easy to die. I myself, unfortunately, die frequently on it. So I looked away. I assume Lewd found an early regular key for Ice Palace, so the right side was not hookshot lock. Hey, there's that bug net.
Yeah, there's the net.
Alright, all is good now. I am happy. So we do joke about the bug net quite a lot, but again, when you're a newer runner, that bug net can help save your hide.
Yep.
Gotta
keep those fairies.
Couple more locations here to check in Ice Palace. Wolfman says, you know what? I dug enough. I'm taking my 5 rupees. There's Bombos. That's unfortunately not important this seed. Found a medallion. We found the wrong one. So 1 item left to find by the looks of it. And there it is! There is Quake! And
awesome.
at 1 hour, 24 minutes, we have our first Go mode by LewdDolphin.
Quake mode enabled.
He's gotta be feeling good at this point.
So he's got to do 3 more crystal dungeons and 1 pendant dungeon, from what I can see in the tracker. Everybody else, looks like they're almost in the same range here. We've got DukeFireBird needing 3 crystals and a pendant. IB Karma needing 3 crystals and 2 pendants, and Wolfman needing 5 crystals and a pendant. But we'll catch up really quickly because a lot of those are very quick kills.
Now, I imagine for both Duke and Karma, they're going to be forced back in the swamp very shortly. Mitts lock Mire, they lock Turtle Rock, they lock Ice Palace. They're running out of places they can go without going back in there.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to realize that soon.
I expect so. There's probably a little bit of overworld left for each of them to check, but not much. Now, looking at LewdDolphin, good news, you can go mode Turtle Rock, which doesn't save a ton of time compared to regular, but it still helps. Go mode Mire, which if you get a good big key placement, that is huge. And just needs to do Skullwoods, which is really quick, and just now finished Ice Palace. DukeFireBird heading up the Catfish, Karma checking the Magic Bat. We know neither of these checks will pay off. Wolf looks like he might be going for Swamp. The question is, will he be sure to go back and get the big key chest? Now it looks like Karma is going to finish off Desert. Now he knows there's no... Is there an item here? No, Landmo... I cannot remember if Landmo had an item or not, to be honest.
No, because
I want to say no.
No, there's only 1 item in that palace, so I don't even remember what it was.
There's 2 in
now.
Desert. No, okay, there's 2 in Desert. The 5 rupees on the torch and the flute. So he knows Landmo does not have an item unless he's miscounted. He might just be going, okay, I need to think about where I'm going. I might as well, rather than sitting there, get this cleared. It needs to be done.
Do some thinking at the same time.
Yeah, so it's not a bad idea. This has to be done at some point. There's no real reason to delay it. And it looks like Duke realizes, I need to go back to Swamp. And he is making that play now. He's going to be hitting himself when he finds those mitts. Lewd taking care of Mothula. Afterwards, I imagine heading the Mire first and then the T-Rock. Duke, forgetting you don't need to get the key again. You already have it. You already opened the door. And indeed, Lewd heading for Misery Mire. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if there's a quick big key here, Misery Mire will be very quick. If the big key decides to troll, this could take a bit. Unfortunately, that bird looks like we'll be knocking Lewd around a little bit. No bird tossed this seed. Duke getting his mitts. He is not happy. Wolf deciding to do left side. But he doesn't have the key. Don't flood the key, Wolf. Do not flood the key. And Duke now heading for Meyer. I imagine after this, he will also head to Turtle Rock and see that he needs Quake for both of these areas, and then also head to Ice.
And Karma just finished up Desert Palace. Don't know where he's going, actually.
To Dark World. I'm not sure why he's choosing to go this direction. Catfish? I don't know if he did that yet.
Possibly,
LewdDolphin finding the compass. Unfortunately, not the perfect big key placement. Still could be a quick one. Yeah, it looks like Catfish. Like, Catfish is one of those places that's out of the way, and unfortunately, it likes to troll people a lot by having useful items when people don't go and check it.
It's nice to be able to route it in with your other checks up in the waterfall area of Light World.
Oh, definitely. If you have gloves, if you have mirror, if you have flippers, it's a great time to route it in if you can start in Dark World. Same with Pyramid. That's another area that, unless you do AGA 1, it tends to troll a lot of runners, and people don't think to check it early. Still searching for the big key. It could be vanilla, unfortunately. And finding a first item, a piece of heart. There's not really anything of use at this point outside of red mail, I imagine, that our runners would want to search for. Once Lewd gets the big key, I can't imagine wanting to search for another item, even the red mail, either in GT or in Turtle Rock. Wondering where Karma's going. Karma still does not have the mitts.
Checking Spike Cave, it looks like.
Yes. We have not seen what's in there yet. That could be the red mail. And I saw game over on Wolf's screen, unfortunately. He'll have to work his way back through Swamp again. And yes, Duke being rewarded with the compass, always not useful. And what do we have here in Spike Cave? Well, it's red, but it's not mail. It is 20 rupees.
Mwah, mwah.
Lewd still trying to find the big key. Or did he find it and I missed it? He did not find it yet. I believe that it has to be here. Yes, because that leaves the big chest, which there's no reason to check at this point. And then Vitreous. Between Butter Sword, Cape, Silver Arrows, Vitreous should be a pushover. Okay, and we'll see if Wolfman decides to do that big chest in Swamp. That will be huge if he doesn't. For him. If he skips it, it'll be huge in a different way. Karma, I think, is a bit stuck.
Yeah, Karma's got to do a check to see what am I missing.
So you now wonder, did he mismark his tracker and he doesn't think the Swamp Big Key or Swamp Big Chest has something? But he's thinking. Wolfman picking up the big key, turn around, go back to the chest. No! He's going to Argus.
He might double dip. We'll see.
We can only hope. You can't fault a runner for skipping a single item in this place. Especially if you have other places you could go, as Duke did, as Karma did, as Wolf does. You know, you might be thinking, well, I'm going to have better odds going, Thieves Town or Village of Outcasts if you haven't done it yet. So there's definitely not a bad call, it just doesn't pay off this seed. Duke realizing, well, I really, really need Quake. I need to get searching. Karma, perhaps doing Magic Bat? No. Might have done that already.
Yeah.
He really just doesn't realize what he's missing. And that is unfortunate. It's never something you want to see.
And DukeFireBird accidentally fell off at the very last chest of Hookshot Cave.
Falling in Hookshot Cave is easy to do. He gets his can of Burna.
Especially with those jellies.
And now LewdDolphin just needs to go clear Turtle Rock and then clear Ganon's Tower, and he will be done. Turn back. Wolfman is going back in. That is good for him. He will be rewarded for that. Definitely a bit of a time cost compared to just going back for the big chest and then going to Argus. However, if Argus had an item, then you would think, okay, no reason to go back to that big chest. So I understand him being willing to take that gamble. Karma just looking around.
Checking all the places. Double checking all the places.
Yeah, there's no reason to just sit still. If you're at least moving, yeah, that's a good sign. You're moving, you're thinking. By the time you realize that you missed, you could be closer to that area.
And we have Dolphin in go mode.
Yep, and Duke is heading to Ice. He will be rewarded with his go mode item, Ether. Nah, just kidding. His go mode's Bugnet. Let's get real. Wolfman doing some overall checks, checking the Bombos tablet. After this, he could go back and clear Pod. I imagine pretty shortly he'll be heading to Ice Palace as well. He also needs to go to the Graveyard Ledge to get his Ice Rock.
So I want to take this time to thank the runners so much for taking time out of their day to do these seeds for us and give us such entertainment. So give them a follow, give them some likes. Thank you so much to our trackers today as well. We've got Reg and JR Biff.
Much appreciated to them. Also want to give a shout out to the entire Speed Gaming staff for doing what they do, hosting all these tournaments and daily races and everything else they got going on. If you like what you're seeing, or even if you don't like what you're seeing and you want to find something else, check out the Speed Gaming schedule. They have 4 different channels constantly playing either podcasts, tournaments, showcases, some sort of speedrunning event. And there's a lot of good stuff. Seriously, check them out. Give them all follows.
And if you're just tuning into us, what we're doing now is all dungeons. Everybody has to finish all the dungeons, beat all the bosses, defeat Ganon, before they are rewarded with the Triforce.
I'm curious, has anyone popped over to Karma's stream and seen his tracker and see if maybe he miscounted items in Swamp? Unfortunately, he has not forfeit, so he is still thinking this through.
Might have gone to take a quick break. Someone in chat is asking what the pedestal was. It looked like a couch cash.
Yes. So I believe that's either 5 or 20 rupees. I'm not positive on that. Either way, not something we need. Something you always seem to see there. You always seem to see there. Unfortunately, not required. We wish it was. There's Duke getting his Bombos medallion. Not the one he wants to see. But don't worry, Duke. Stick with it. And you'll be finding your Quake shortly. And there it is. So that means DukeFireBird is now in his go mode. 1 hour and 39 minutes.
Quake mode.
Wolfman deciding to do Smiths. He only needs Quake, but he figured, well, you know what? This might have it. I also don't know if he knows he needs Quake.
No, I don't think he would have checked yet.
Is this 1v1s or is everyone competing? Everybody's competing against each other. This is a for fun race. This is not a tournament. Lude making his way through Turtle Rock. He'll have to find one last key on Laser Bridge coming up. Did Karma forfeit? Karma has not forfeit yet, and hopefully he's just still thinking things through. We have only had one forfeit this race. Pardon me.
He's pulling some stuff on his screen again, so let's see what he decides to do.
What he should do, if he thinks he's cleared out every dungeon, re-enter the ones he's been in, open his menu, check, do you have the big key, the map, and the compass from everything? He might be thinking that swamp, that big chest either has the map or the compass. If he re-enters and sees that he has them both, he's going to realize, oh no, there's an item in that chest. Alright, Duke's heading over to Misery Mire. He will be clearing that out and then heading up to Turtle Rock, a bit behind Lude. Yeah, more than a bit, but... Wolfman finishing off with Purple Chest, and then hopefully heading straight to Ice.
Did anybody check this purple chest yet?
I don't believe so. Just a little bit of love. I don't think anyone other than Wolfman has touched that chain. Karma can't because no mitts. And this logic seems to favor dungeons a lot more, so for Lude and Duke, they probably both thought that through and decided, alright, I have my mitts, this is Ice Palace access, let's hit that before doing Overworld. Especially because you are required to do all these dungeons.
Louis just finished up Trinex and was rewarded with a shovel.
Okay, I did see that. I forgot we haven't seen that yet. So, obviously, Ganon's Tower Big Key is at the big spot. And speaking of Ganon's Tower Big Key, we're not doing the official guessing game because this is not a tournament match. However, there are anywhere between 1 and 22 item locations. Well, item locations numbered 1 to 22, where the Ganon's Tower Big Key could be located at. Feel free to get your guesses in chat. No reward this time. You won't be on the leaderboard. But still always nice to know that you guessed it correctly. So, B, where do you think it's going to be?
I'm gonna guess it is hiding behind the Armos Knights.
I'm gonna guess number 9. Somebody knows, though, because congratulations to Gerdo finishing in first place for the time of 1:43:33. Well done by him. Let's see, first chest, small key, second chest, the red mail. So if Karma realizes where his mitts are and completes the seed, we will get to see a can of Coke. On the torch, a small key, number 3, Rip Bob, we will miss you. I think Karma might have just realized. Maybe. You went to the right spot. He knows.
Oh, yes.
I think he knows. Number 4, 20 rupees. Number 5, small key. Number 6, heart container. Number 7, piece of heart. That's heading for Swamp.
Those Titan gloves are in the big chest of Swamp Palace, so that's good. Hopefully he'll be able to get some time saved here.
All right, chest number 8, another piece of heart. My guess is still alive. Now you gotta wonder, will we see some rage from Karma when we find mitts? Chest number 9 contains 3 bombs. Rip my guess. Heading over to the rando room, called that because you only ever see it in Randomizer. In vanilla, it's just a refill room. You have no reason to go there. Bottle on number 10, single rupee, and number 11. Number 12 is a mirror shield. Number 13, a bomb upgrade. Heading to number 14, also known as Bob's chest. Unfortunately, Bob will not be there today. Yes, the torch is not named Bob. However, if you do not collect the item on the torch, there is a glitched anti-fairy in the room coming up that has been nicknamed Bob. Why, I don't know. It was before my time. If you collect the key as we did, he is a normal anti-fairy down there in the bottom right corner.
And Karma just picked up his Titan's mitts.
Number 14 has 20 rupees for LewdDolphin. I missed it. Did Karma rage at all?
He raged before picking up the mitts. He did a couple of slashes and then picked them up.
Gotcha. So, while Lewd takes on the Ice Armos, congratulations to our second place spinner, Ajneb, aka Ben, with a time of 146.50. Third place is Elminster. I'll get that time in a moment. Small key, arrow, or a bomb upgrade, and 20 rupees. Big key is on right side, either in 18, 19, 20, 21, or the tile room 22. So yeah, Elminster finishing in third place with a time of 147.21. Inknon, I hope I pronounced that correctly, I probably did not, finishing in fourth place with a time of 147.46. Epic Ranger, unfortunately, forfeiting. His PC decided to restart on him. That is unfortunate. Dwayne finishing in fifth place with a time of 148.03. That rounds out your top 5. So now Karma knows he needs Quake. He doesn't know where to find it. But in a few minutes, I'm sure he will be over to Ice Palace to find it, probably after a Dark Death Mountain visit and checking on Turtle Rock. But back to Ganon's Tower for LewdDolphin. Chest number 18. There is the Ganon's Tower big key in chest number 18. No reason to check the others. There's literally nothing more LewdDolphin could want out of those chests. And there's our sixth place finisher, Lunchtime ATH, with a time of 148.48. Meanwhile, back to our top 4 runners. DukeFireBird entering Turtle Rock, his last dungeon. Karma in Ice Palace will be rewarded with Quake, and then we'll have to finish off Ice Palace, of course. Meyer, Turtle Rock, and Desert. Wait, didn't Karma finish Desert? Might just need to update that. Wolfman in Ice, exactly where he needs to be. He will be rewarded with his Go Mode item. And then we'll have to complete Meyer and Turtle Rock as well. 7th place goes to Yagamoth with a time of 149.15. As Lewd begins the gauntlet, see how this goes for him. DukeFireBird going the wrong way on the platform. Let's try that again. 8th place finish to Minochi with a time of 149.53. And a decent gauntlet for LewdDolphin. On to the second Landmo fight.
Quick kills with the silvers for sure.
Nicely done. Not the easiest of tasks to do. That is one situation where if you've played NMG, it really does help. I do not know that from experience, unfortunately. And probably one of the most satisfying parts of this run is just annihilating those Wizrobes with the King. One single hit. It was so much fun, we get to do it again. Unfortunately, missing one of them.
So Lewd will be well prepared for this fight with Ganon, having red mail and mirror shield.
Pretty much anything he could want. I would also like to announce our 9th place finisher, Haikyuu Type, with a time of 1:51.08. GG to him.
So right now,
go ahead.
So right now, all of our featured runners are still fighting to see who's going to be first place between the 4 of them. However, there was 40 some odd other racers competing in the background. So we're listing off those that have completed already. We've got people finished up to 10 at this point now. And
So,
LewdDolphin is not too far behind.
And not validating, that is unfortunate. Disqualified, good sir. So Karma found Bombos and raged a little bit, like, come on, I needed the medallion, that wasn't the one, and then instantly found Quake. So I don't think he's complaining. 10th place goes to Evanitis with a time of 1:52.08. 11th to Sinhei, I cannot remember, I apologize. 11th place with a time of 1:52.31. And then Lewd taking on the always wonderful Agatu. Always cooperates with us, of course. 12th place to Macanex with a time of 1:53.03. They're all just rolling in now. You know, it always seems to happen. Meanwhile, Karma just finished Ice Palace. Wolfman will be doing the same shortly. 13th place to Gamer Cal with a time of 1:53.30. And unfortunately, a forfeit from Malagor. Reason as yet unknown. And here we go. LewdDolphin heading into the Ganon fight. This should be a piece of cake. Thunder Sword, Red Mail, 16 Hearts, half magic. You have everything you could possibly want for this.
Karma's just going into Misery Mire now.
Mire and then Turtle Rock. I imagine Wolf will be doing the exact same. No reason not to. While Duke is heading to Trinex. Did you find the arrows in Death Mountain? We did! Nice double from LewdDolphin going for Torch Glitch. Gets it. Finishes the fight off with a double. GG. LewdDolphin, the first finisher out of our featured 4. Officially finishing with a time of 1:54.24 in 14th place. GG to him.
Good work, LewdDolphin.
We'll see if he wants to pop on in for an interview. Now it looks like Malagor had missed a location somewhere. Not sure what. We do wonder if that's the same thing Karma had missed. It is possible.
Be sure to check out our featured runners. DukeFireBird, wolfman2000, IB Karma, and LewdDolphin.
Indeed. Thank you very much to them for being willing to be on this restream. Not everybody wants to do it. It does add a little bit of pressure at times, as well as, can't really be talking or listening to music. We do appreciate those that want to be featured. And we do try and feature people of all skill levels, not just, the top 4 runners. Just to kind of, get everybody involved. Back to the finishes. Congratulations to our 15th place finisher, Zero Rush, with a time of 1:55.54. And there is LewdDolphin. GG, congratulations on being the first place finisher out of our featured runners. How do you feel after that?
I feel pretty fine. Although I saw a lot of people done as soon as I entered GT, so that started psyching me out.
Oh yeah, they just came on going. So, what did you think about that seed?
I was really happy to have fake flippered early and found the hammer and glove early. Knowing where that was sort of guided like my future steps. I didn't go into pod immediately once I got to Dark World though, because I knew where the hammer was, and I figured, as soon as I get flippers, I'll go to Catfish, get the hammer, and do pod. So of course, when the flippers were in pod, that screwed everything up. But I felt like I routed it pretty fine.
Yeah, definitely doing some of those sequence breaks at the beginning helped you out immensely.
Yeah, seeing the hammer and the glove on Zora's area, and then going to Death Mountain without the lamp, finding the lamp and realizing, oh, so this meant flute was found early. Going to Desert and seeing that flute there and realizing I can actually finish Desert, unlike, the regular sequence would have been to enter Desert to get the flute, to then go to Death Mountain, get the lamp, and then later on get the glove so you can finish Desert. Not that Desert led to anything, but it was just nice to get it out of the way right there.
Exactly. Why do it then and then have to come back for double dip later when you can do it all at once? So I gotta ask, what do you think is the play that made you finish first out of these 4 runners by quite a wide margin?
I don't know. Having the information on hammer early, I would say is useful. I don't know how many other people, did the fake flipper or put off Zora for however long. Checking Meyer and TR and finding, well, I guess it wasn't really that useful, but I like going to see what their medallions are immediately, because if you don't know if you're in go mode yet, if they both need ether, then you can skip the rest of IP, and you don't have to check the Pyramid Ferry and the other overworld locations that I skipped. I actually thought that, I mismarked it on my tracker what 5, 6 were, and I was going to do Pyramid Ferry after Swamp, but then I realized I didn't actually have both 5, 6. So that screwed me up a bit, but thankfully it didn't lead anywhere.
So I think 2 or 3 of our runners all fake flippered, all had the knowledge on getting gloves early, knowing where the hammer is. But what really helped you out, you were actually behind both Duke and IB Karma for quite a while. They both gambled the big chest and swamp and left it. And of course, that contains Titan's mitts.
Oh, right, yeah.
So Duke eventually remembered, went back. IB Karma, unfortunately, I think forgot all about that and sat there for a good 5 minutes trying to figure out what was missing before realizing.
Yeah, I actually, I always full clear swamp whenever I'm not in go mode, but I had checked the left side first, which I don't normally do. I was sort of gambling that the key was over there, but it wasn't, so it was sort of a little bit of a waste of time. But then I gambled the waterfall room before going south, and that had the big key, so let me just take the glitched stairs back.
Not a bad idea. Do you want to give shout-outs to those that have finished while we've been talking? 16th place went to Aryror. I can't pronounce half these names. I apologize. With a time of 1:56.38. 17th place to Keong92 at 1:58.55. Drunken Draconian finishing in 18th place with a time of 1:59.18. 19th to Gemini at 1:59.43, and it looks like that will round out the sub 2 crew as we wait on 20th. And based on some of the comments, I think a lot of other people might have skipped the big chest as well and missed out on their mitts. And there's, close finish for 20th. Haha Cell finishing in 20th at 2 hours, 13 seconds, followed closely by Scion T, 21st place with a time of 2 hours, 21 seconds. Meanwhile, DukeFireBird heading to the right side to get his big key. So not really too bad of a seed. The fact that it was all dungeons, you know, you don't really have to gamble dependent dungeons. You know you're going to have to clear them eventually.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about all dungeons. You don't have to. They're not really gambles. They're sort of like they're the crystal dungeons. Like, oh, you prioritize them because you have to finish them at some point anyway. Well, every dungeon is a required dungeon. So.
Did you find
Exactly.
Did you find yourself raging at any time there, Lewd?
Find myself what?
Raging.
Oh no, not at all. I laughed at the hammer on the ledge. That was the only like sort of rage sword swipe that I did. But no, I wasn't upset with the seed. I thought it was a good seed.
Yeah, not bad at all. Just
Early tempered made me happy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely good. It helps people get through a seed quick, as well as for newer runners. You know, not having to worry about having to sit there and slash at something a million times. Duke down to, I believe, 1.5 hearts. I hear the beep, as he's getting ready to start his gauntlet pretty soon. Meanwhile, Wolfman heading up to Turtle Rock. IB Karma about to enter Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so our featured runners are not too far behind you, Lewd.
Cool. That's like the second day in a row that Swamp has had answers in it. I'm trying to remember what was the seed yesterday. I think it was the Open Weekly yesterday that had Cane and Fire Rod and Mitts in Swamp. When you get a lot of items in Swamp, you feel like, oh, now it's always going to have the items. And then when it doesn't have the items, you go, well, thanks, Swamp.
And with Swamp, it's one of those places that, you know, if you have to go mode, it's a really quick clear. But if you're searching for items, yes, it has a lot of locations, but some of them are out of the way. And you might want to just gamble, as we saw some of our players do today, from at least one location.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really like gambling Swamp because if it does have an item and you have to go back to it, it takes so much more time to reopen everything. I understand, like, you know, the chest density or chest per minutes checks, whatever, blah, blah, blah statistics, make it so it's not really that good of a dungeon despite the 6 chests in it. But once you enter it, you probably want to full clear it. Just because if it does have something and you gamble, it's too costly.
Not to mention that you have to spend all that time back in the light world, draining the swamp again just to get back in.
Yeah. You have to flute to 4, go to Dark World, go down, mirror to Light World, enter the dam, drain it, go to Dark World, enter the swamp, you know, traverse the first 3 rooms, go into a side room, drain the first half, or fill the first half, and then you're back in it, finally, after 2 hours and 3 tequilas.
It's definitely a bit of a pain. At least in Wolfman's case, he gambled the chest the first time, but then upon killing Argus, he immediately turned back around. Which is why he's in Turtle Rock right now. If not, he might still be searching for those mitts. Something else about the seeds is I did force you to fight Aga 1 early. Were you happy to see that, knowing you'd have to kill Aga at some point anyway?
I should have fought Aga earlier than I did. I had, like, cleared everything I could in Light World, and then I fought Aga, because one of the things I was thinking was that I don't have hammer or flippers, which would help with traversing the Dark World, and then I forgot that I had the hook shot from Link's house that would let me skip the first part, or let me go counterclockwise around Dark World. Although Pod ended up having items. Although I guess like the glove was a sequence break. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
yes, it was.
It was, yeah.
And we had actually talked about that when you then hooked shot across and went towards Skull Woods. Is that, you know, yes, this could pay off, but it's also a sequence break. So we knew Pod had to have something. And in this case, they had quite a lot with flippers and boots.
I was actually going to gamble catfish first, and then I changed my mind. But yeah, I guess I should have remembered that the sequence break meant Pod had to have the next item.
Indeed, but again, you know, you could still find something else good. But with it being especially flippers you were looking for, which you knew led to hammer, yeah, that was pretty big.
Sometimes sequence breaking requires a lot of note-taking and remembering what you've done, just so that you don't forget what some of that logic was supposed to be.
Right.
Indeed, we did see quite a few sequence breaks. I mean, some of them were minor, like, you know, going to Death Mountain before Flute, so of course that was a sequence break. But that wasn't a big deal. Yeah, it was kind of good to see Flute early. It definitely helps with all the walking around. People get frustrated without boots and Flute early. What is invalidation? 20 rupees. Thank you, Duke, for checking that for us.
Yeah, I normally check it, but today I thought there's not even any real good excuse for checking it other than validating.
You found everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
You had red mail, you had butter sword, you had half magic, powder and bottles if you wanted it for some reason.
I didn't have all the bottles, but I knew where the fourth one was. I just skipped it.
Where was the fourth? I'm not actually sure I saw it.
It was in Spectacle Rock Cave. That was the one I skipped.
Oh, you did. I remember seeing that. I think there was another one that I had missed.
I don't remember where the other ones were.
Karma starting laser bridge from the bottom. Unfortunately, the wrong move as the key is in the second chest from the top. We know that. Karma does not. And Duke hitting on his Ganon fight should be pretty simple.
And both Wolfman and Karma finishing up Turtle Rock. Last little legs of those.
I tell you what, that laser bridge room is a nightmare, especially if you're sequence breaking it. It does require its own logic. It requires either Mirror Shield or Cape or Cane. Karma actually has Cape, could have Cane if he had gotten it, but choosing not to use them because that would use his magic. He takes a death, but I think he took the bottom door, so he doesn't have to make his way back through the entirety of Turtle Rock. Indeed, he did.
And Duke is about to get a time for Ganon, if all goes well.
Hoping for no falls. Wolfman getting his key, so not far behind Karma at all. Either one of them can pull this off, especially if one chooses to do an early right side Ganon's Tower. I believe there was an early key, so it's possible to see that.
Yeah, if I had gone right first, that would have been so much better.
And here I was hoping secretly for Tile Room.
I usually meme Tile Room, but I thought I was doing pretty well, so I didn't.
That's one of those things I keep saying, oh, one day I'm going to gamble it's a Tile Room, but the problem is that wastes you so much time if there's nothing there. And GG, DukeFireBird finishing it off. An official time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, 58 seconds.
Congratulations, Duke.
With a comment of every gamble went south. We'll see if he wants to pop on in here for an interview. I imagine we're going to keep going until Wolf and Karma finish. We do still have about 15 minutes left on the schedule. As a reminder, be sure to check out the speed gaming schedule. There's so many different things that are going on lately. Showcases, tournaments, marathons. Be sure to check it out, see if anything interests you. And welcome, Duke. How's it going?
Hello. It's going pretty good.
GG.
Oh, thank you.
So, what are your thoughts on that seed?
I need to learn not to take certain gambles. Every single one went south.
Yeah, those mitts, I think, were the biggest. It was not only you that took that gamble. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off today. So, what did you think about the early game?
Well, I was initially... This is where my first gamble, because let's remember, what was the first item we got? What did I forget to do when I went to Death Mountain?
East Death Mountain?
Correct. Whoops.
Indeed. Of course, for those of you that weren't here, East Death Mountain held both the lamp and tempered sword, as well as, I think, cape, but I don't believe that was ever required.
And cape was never required, but specifically the lamp.
Indeed. And I forget, did you sequence break to Zora? Or were you one
No,
of the ones that waited?
No, I did not. I didn't want to sequence break. I tend to not want to, at least until I had the Moon Pearl. And then, oh god. I was debating it. The only thing I sequence broke was the old man.
So when you went there and saw both the gloves and the hammer, were you happy you decided not to sequence break, or were you wishing you had gone there initially just to get the glove?
You know, had I done that, sequence break, I don't know how I'd feel, because then flippers were in the spike chest and pod. I honestly don't know. I was kind of like, when I got there, I was like, really? And that when I saw the hammer on the ledge, I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then Zora sold the gloves. I'm like, I had a few choice words.
I believe it. Yeah, the glorifications were not exactly kind to see. And of course, being forced to do Aga 1, which really wasn't a bad thing, as it was required for all dungeons. So you had to do it eventually anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of a good thing. At least it was like, because I exhausted out all the light worlds, I was like, okay, so we do have to do Aga. And I knew we had to do Aga, so I was like, okay. Oh, cash, okay. I was debating, I was going to blind pull the pedestal, but then it turns out I didn't need it, because by the time I had access to T-Rock, the only thing that it could have had was the medallion for Meyer, which ended up matching T-Rock.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, out of all 4 of the featured runners, 3 of them did not check pedestal early, despite having booked that early. I figured quite a few might. Ultimately, only one person did. I believe it was Wolfman. No blind pedestal pulls this seed. Would have been nice to see, but... And focusing back on the current race at hand, it looks like Wolfman has taken advantage over Karma by choosing to do right side first. Overall, it didn't seem like too bad of a seed. Just that big gamble and swamp is what really did a lot of people in.
Yeah, so Wolfman is just finishing up the gauntlet section, so he'll be getting on to his second Aghanim fight. Looks like he's gonna go and fill up some bottles with fairies.
I don't blame him. I like using this room personally. With red mail and everything he has, it might not be as important, but still, it takes a couple seconds, and you'd rather do that than die, especially when you're a newer runner. Useful to note that you have to access that room via a boots bonk, which is why the logic takes into account bonking in certain places, like Hookshot Cave, the first chest, or to access Misery Mire. You don't need the hookshot for those because of that. And Karma receiving the news that you need to go to the right side.
You know, I actually have a question. I'm now watching the race. Where the heck was Ether?
I wish I remembered. Maybe someone
Oh.
in chat recalls.
Oh,
Stumpy.
Stumpy.
Stumpy
Yeah.
had it.
Stumpy. Oh, wow. Oh, God, yeah, I never checked him. Oops. Oh, God, yeah, what did
Oops.
I check? Oh, God, I never checked Stumpy. I never checked Grove Ledge. And I didn't have the mitts at the time. Couldn't do blacksmith or purple chest.
Yeah, we only saw one person do blacksmith purple chest, and that was Wolfman. Prior to doing Ice Palace, no real reason to. It was a lot. This logic really favors dungeons. So I think a lot of people realized that and decided, all right, let's go the ice instead of doing more overworld. Karma Gambling Tile Room, not going to pay off this time. Also enjoy that bright red can of Coke, people. Unfortunately, Pepsi is the far superior drink. That's my fact. I'm probably about to get chewed out by some people in chat for that one. The Karma getting ready to pick up his Ganon Tower Big Key, and then begin the trek up to Ganon. Wolfman missing the Whiz Robes. This really is such a satisfying kill. It only takes one hit on the Whiz Robes, and they're usually in a lot of these games such a pain. It's nice to just take them out. Carmen decides at this point, you know what? I've opened the other chests. Let's just get them all. Total rupees collected 2,954. Rupees spent 740. This was a rupee heavy seed.
Yeah, it was. Of course, with the stun pack being 20 rupees, that didn't help matters.
Yeah. Plus, if we mentioned earlier, having to go through all the dungeons, you're not trying to avoid pendants. There's more of a chance of finding all the rupee chests or a lot more of them. Wolfman deciding there's no reason to check those other chests. I don't blame him at all. It's still important to check validation. I'll be disappointed if he does not.
Lewd, I don't think you checked validation chest, did you?
I did not.
For shame. I say that, I can't remember the last time I checked it.
My run wasn't validated, and Duke actually won, so GG Duke.
Wolfman struggling with Moldorm, but keeping his sword out so that he didn't get knocked off the edge. Great play by him on that. Will he validate? Yes, he does. And then uses Bombos at the chest. Showing his displeasure with it. Oh, and let's give it a few whacks as well. Good job, Wolfman. You're the hero we needed. Karma currently working his way up the gauntlet. This gauntlet is not the easiest thing, especially when you get to the ice rooms. Especially with those statues everywhere.
Yeah, those BMOs, they can really throw you off.
How did I forget the name Demos? Wow. Alright, Wolfman taking on Aga 2. I believe he got one hit in on that. That's crazy. I watch the best players and they just have a cakewalk with Aga 2. I'm lucky if I get one hit in on a cycle. Or am I working on Land Mola? This one is quite a bit harder because of that, whatever it's called, that spitting fire. It does get in your way. With the Mirror Shield, it's not as big of an issue. If you don't have that, it's really easy to keep getting hit and get knocked out of rhythm. And Wolfman moving on to the Ganon fight.
Being swept away by the bats. Oh, by the duck. My apologies.
The swag duck. What's he doing? Trying to find a health refill? It appears so. Perhaps going to get potions. Can't really blame him. You're not in contention for the win at this point. If you know that sometimes you struggle with Ganon, this is not a bad idea. I myself have done it.
Yeah, and he's got lots of money, so it's a good idea for sure.
Now, to note, he had a blue potion. He had a green potion. Maybe not necessarily needed. We will see. It would be nice to see him have a nice, clean Ganon fight. Yeah, definitely had the money for this. At this point, it's pretty much a race against IB Karma. And it looks like now, with that stop to get potions, it'll be a much closer race. I wonder what Karma's looking for. Maybe just going with the whole, let's just open all the chests at this rate mentality. Will he validate? Yes. So, unfortunately, Lewd, you're the only one of the 4 to be disqualified. Sorry to give you that news.
Womp womp.
So we'll see how the Ganon fight goes for Wolfman while IB Karma's heading into Aga 2. Gets a double first. Fortunately, missed the first ball, so only got 1 in that phase. And missing everything there. Again, I want to reiterate, this is not the easiest fight, especially depending upon the RNG of where all the copies show up. It's easy to get hit just like that. Wolfman heading into phase 4, but down to 1 heart. Use your potion. Doesn't get torch glitched, but that is fine. Just stay alive. Don't get knocked off. Don't use that mirror. That's third hit. Gets the 4th. Just don't fall down and he will be done.
Congratulations, Wolfman.
Indeed, he does finish with a time of 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 12 seconds. IB Karma heading into the Ganon fight now. We'll see if he wants to come in and do an interview. Was the text, did that just say we made it or something? I missed that.
I think it was we made it.
We did it.
We did it.
Yay, we did it.
Yay!
Wolfman will be joining us. I love when it appears, I'm sorry. It's always at the end of a long trolley seed. Like, the seeds really are sentient. IB Karma finishing off phase 3 here in a moment.
Could that be why I've never seen Uncle say this seed is sub 2 hours guaranteed anymore? Last time I saw that first place time was 2 hours 8 minutes.
And welcome, Wolfman. Congratulations. How are you feeling after that seed?
Considering this is my second best time with any sort of standard mode, I don't think I have any room to complain.
That is true. You really didn't do that well. Or that bad, I'm sorry. That bad.
Wow.
Oh my God. I need to go drink or something.
Bad commentator, no cookie.
I am. Yeah, I'm horrible. You didn't do that bad. You seem to follow the logic pretty well.
Yeah, it's execution and speed. Ironic for a, speed gaming place. That's one of my weaknesses.
Indeed. So we'll see if Karma wants to join as well for an interview. Congratulations on official SRL time 2:24:49. Karma will be joining us as well.
But as far as what happened, I'll be honest, when I was going through this, I forgot I was being restreamed, so I'm sure you guys got some laughs at my, what was that? I was right by the hobo, and I got pelted by a sniper.
I think I missed that, actually.
Were you doing fake flippers?
I was doing fake flippers because this was early game. What I was hoping to do was fake flippers, get the item, and then do Houlihan, which I was able to do. Shoutouts to all you guys for the commentating whenever Houlihan happens. I was able to pick that up because of that. But I just had to route that in later because, well, I literally died like 1 second before I could do the screen transition.
Ouch. And I want to say welcome, Karma. I feel like I know what I'm going to hear, but what are your thoughts on that, Seed?
I think everybody knows what I screwed up.
Indeed, but at least you realized what you did.
Yeah.
I gotta say, good for you for sticking it out and looking for that last thing that you missed.
Yeah, just don't ever mismark your tracker.
Oh, is that what happened?
Ouch.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, I have one of the ones with the chest, and I chest marked every single swamp chest, and then realized I missed the big chest after like 30 minutes.
I
Yeah.
actually was afraid I had a mismark on Desert Palace. I thought I had missed one, but I kind of realized, no, okay, I didn't miss one, so I just played assuming I got them all, and I got lucky there.
And I gotta say, Karma, you weren't the only one to make the gamble initially on the big chest. Duke did as well, but realized a while afterwards that he missed that, and that had his item.
Yeah, it wasn't even a gamble. It was just a miss. It cost me, because I meant to go back and check it after I beat Argus and just never did. But it cost me, I guarantee it cost me at least 30 minutes. Because I went and checked Catfish and I went and checked Spike Cave, and I never would have checked those if I had gotten that.
I was surprised. It seemed like I had to double dip a number of dungeons. At the very least, I know I had to double dip Eastern because I took the gamble that Bo would be there, or at least decent items there wasn't. Pod I had to come back to twice. Tower of Hera, I don't know if I was technically required to double dip that twice, but it just ended up that way.
It was not a required double dip, but I believe 3 of you did it anyway because you went there before East Death Mountain getting the lamp.
Yeah, it was a double dip for most of us, I would think. Pod was a required double dip, actually.
So Willard wants me to bring this up, and I will say, yes, I was aware of chat discussing this the entire seed. I purposely chose to ignore it. Did any of y'all realize fast menu could be active?
No.
Wait, I thought we couldn't because this was a race.
Yeah, apparently,
The
wasn't
seed
generated
was not
100%
generated as a
properly.
race ROM is the issue.
Oh.
Yeah. I know Karma had fast menu. I think Lude, did you have it?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed it. It wasn't something I was going to discuss during the race.
I didn't even
I'm still
notice.
learning.
Yeah, I
Even
don't
if I
even.
had it.
Yeah, I don't even have that. I don't even look at that setting. The only setting I look at is background music and sprite. That's about it.
I purposely just keep it off at this point. It's not like my menuing is going to be any better with fast menu. So
I was going to
understand
leave
people
it
prefer
on. I was going to leave it on. It's because it says it's inactive for race ROMs, but it does change the sound of the menu still, and that bothered me, so I just left it off ever since.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's sad I didn't notice.
Well, at least with the number of deaths that I had, I'm sure it's showing up on screen soon. Hopefully to everyone out there, hopefully I at least gave you a good show, and I gave the validation chest what for.
We did enjoy that.
You had a really solid run there, Wolfman. Lots of good execution.
Thanks. Hopefully I will catch up on speed one of these days. I did miss a chest in Desert Palace. I just saw that come through. Which one did I miss?
The torch odds are.
Yeah, the
Oh,
torch
right.
had 5 rupees.
Yeah, I remember that now. That was where the mismark of my tracker came into play.
Yeah, I always I was like, okay, 5 rupee, I'm not getting that. I'll just mark it.
No. I don't blame anybody for not going back to get that.
Yeah, that's what I did. Is I marked that one off for being 5 rupees. I just wish I hadn't have marked off Swamp.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate,
like,
but at least you realize. You know, I've seen a lot of runners that would have forfeit that, and it was good to see you finish it out.
Well, I knew I was on Restream for one, and I was just sitting there, and I know you guys could see it. I was sitting there literally going through every single place, Dark World and Light World, that I could have missed.
So when you were going back in the swamp, did you think at the time, okay, this is an item or could be an item, or were you thinking, this is going to be the map or the compass? Why am I doing that?
Well, no, when I went back into Swamp, like, I knew I'd missed the chest. And I knew that was literally the only chest without mitts that I had access to. That was left in the game. Because I had no access to Ice, no access to Turtle Rock, no access to Mire. I couldn't do Blacksmith. I couldn't do Peg Game. I couldn't do Purple Chest. Literally everything else was locked off by the mitts. So I knew when I realized that chest was open, that I was like, gosh dang it, you saw it. I sword swiped the chest before I opened it because I knew what was in it.
We did.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Did you do Spike Cave or Hookshot Cave? Because I
Yep.
ended up skipping those.
I did Spike Cave and I did Catfish because I missed that chest. I was actually probably on a time to clear the whole, with the execution and stuff I had, I was probably on time for probably sub 2? Probably an hour and 50 to sub 2?
Yeah, you
Before I missed
were,
that.
I think, a bit around where Lewd was, but when Lewd went in, turned around to get the big chest before killing Argus, that's what really changed the whole thing around.
Yeah, I just wish I hadn't exited. I meant as soon as I killed Argus to go back in the door and go get it. And I just forgot.
We saw it happening in slow motion.
Indeed, but it happens.
yeah.
We've all done it.
I wish I can say that I forgot, but I didn't. I intentionally left it. 'Cause I was like, okay, I got better item density elsewhere. Didn't want to have to go back for one chest, and well, saw how that worked. On the plus note, you guys didn't miss anything in Hookshot Cave. Nothing.
Can of Burn, I think that was about it.
Oh yeah, lat game.
Pod was awesome though.
Oh god, that thing was stacked.
I was also not a fan of Ice Palace, where you had to go deep in order to get the Quake Medallion for both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock.
It was
I don't
big
think you had to
chest.
go that deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that deep. It was big chest, and the key was in first, and the big key was in first chest. So
Yep.
that's
I think most
literally
people did.
3 chests.
Yeah, most people did right side, but a couple went straight for the big chest, which paid off after finding Bombos.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Going, hey, you gained wrong medallion.
That
So
put me
here's
in the
a
go
question.
mode too.
So here's a question for the runners we have here. Knowing that you only needed the one medallion to open both Mire and Turtle Rock, when you got that first one and it wasn't the one that you actually needed, did your heart sink just a little bit?
Nah, I'm used to it.
I was hoping
Your soul
to
is
get
dead
all the
already.
medallions in the first place, so it didn't affect me too much.
I mean, you
Um,
can't beat yesterday's key sanity where you had to enter GT and you find 4 big keys, none of which were for GT.
Ow!
Ow!
Oh, that sounds painful.
Oh, I didn't even know what Turtle Rock was before I got all 3 the medallions.
Same.
Yeah, I actually, when I finally got the Titan's mitts, I specifically went, okay, let's go do Mire area, check that pendant, go up to Death Mountain, do the dark side stuff, and then check that medallion. I was like, okay, good, I'm down to 1 medallion. So when I picked up Bombos, I was like, well, that's only the first item out of then missing now 5 items, because I forgot about Stumpy and, 6 items. Because I forgot about Dark Kakariko and all that. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Check the next one, and then it was Quake, and I was like, oh, that felt so good.
All right, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Do you guys have any final comments about the seed or your play or anything?
I just wish to give a big thanks to the speed gaming community. You guys have been very welcoming I know I am still working on it, but I'm glad that I've at least been able to experience almost all forms of it, whether commentating, tracking, restreaming, or trying to give a show with running. Again, thank you all.
And thank you for being a part of it.
Yep. Thanks to everyone involved, including the chat, restream, commentary, tracker, any other racers. That's what brings this community together, and I love it.
It's fun.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Awkward
And
silence
also-
after that.
Yeah. And also, I know I'm going to slightly step over B-Link's and Final Flame's toes here, but I'll see you guys in about 3 hours, 15 minutes.
Indeed. Are you commentating the 8 o'clock race?
Yep, and hopefully I will not curse the run like I did last Key Sanity run.
Yes, good luck
Okay,
to that,
so it's
Key
8
Sanity.
o'clock. Okay, 8 o'clock is Key Sanity. That will, I believe, also be on Speed Gaming too.
I'll probably be there.
Speaking of the Speed Gaming schedule, so going on right now on Speed Gaming 1, we have Pokemon Crystal Cinco Bingo until 6. On Speed Gaming 3, we've got Mega Man X. And at 5 o'clock on this very channel, Speed Gaming 2, starts the Chrono Trigger Showcase race. I really want to see that. I'm going to have
take
to
a
see
look
that.
at some of the stuff.
So many good options.
Right? And then following that will be more Link to the Past Randomizer Daily, the Key Sanity we're just talking about. They've also got Super Mario Odyssey tonight, more Mega Man stuff, Super Mario 64, Dragon Warrior Randomizer Weekly Race? Okay, that's a new one. But be
Nice.
sure to check out the Speed Gaming schedule. There's got to be something there to interest anybody. You can find it there. That's going to do it for us. We've kind of gone a bit over the time limit. Huge thanks again to the runners, DukeFireBird, wolfman2000, ID Karma, and LewdDolphin. Thank you so much for putting on a great show.
Thanks for having us. Although I guess that goes to Feasel. But thanks for commentating us.
Agreed.
Thanks
And
for
thank
tracking
you,
us.
thank you to our trackers as well.
Yes, JRBiff18, Regaro, I don't know how he pronounces it. Extra shout-outs to him. We actually were supposed to have another tracker, and unfortunately just had miscommunication last minute, and he was able to step up and fill in on about 5 minutes' notice. So thank you so much to him. Also, shout-out to my co-commentator, B-Links. I am Final
you,
Flame.
Flame.
Yep, thank you for joining me. That's going to be it for us. Thank you, Speed Gaming staff, Feasel, everybody behind the scenes. I can't do today. For putting this on. But we're out of here. Stay tuned. Chrono Trigger Showcase coming up in about 15 minutes. Hope to see you guys there.